Actually, I would love to see other YouTubers doing this and just kind of imagining a sampler that would be the sampler for a lifetime. Like this is the sort of sampler that I would never switch to another sampler. This would be it. And it's very close to being an MPC. You guys know that I love MPCs, and it's not like the aesthetics in itself, it's the operating system inside of it. The ability to have multiple pads with different effects on the pads, have multiple tracks with effects on them. I love the MPC workflow, but to me, all this new stuff that comes with these MPCs, to me, is just things that are just in the way, because I don't actually use almost none of it. And then they stripped it down to that. But that for me is too limiting. And you might say, man, you're never happy with anything. I'm actually very happy with the new MPCs right now. But I'm allowed to dream as well. I'm allowed to dream. And keep in mind, this is something that is dedicated to my workflow, to the stuff that I like doing, to the way that I chop samples, to the way that I put sequences together, all of that stuff. First of all, I would go straight back into the old OS 2.15, although there's a lot of stuff that I love about these new samplers, right? I would still keep that step sequencer. The sampler that would stay with me forever would be a marriage between the akai and the analog rhythm. I remember working with the analog rhythm and just falling in love with that thing so much. Absolutely love it. Why not keep it? Only 8 voices. Not really dedicated towards sampling. People make beats on it, sampled beats on it, because it does allow you to sample. It allows you, I don't think there's a chop system in that, but it allows you to trim the start and end points, copy the pads and stuff like that. But it's an 8 voice. It's not really tailored towards sampling and sampled beats, although of course you can do it. Just like the XL and the first MPCs weren't tailored towards it, and people did it anyway. So it's definitely a marriage between the two. It's definitely a sampler that wouldn't have all these plugins. It would be something along the lines of the MPC sample, but with all the stuff that the MPCs come with. You know, I really love it. At the same time, I was so sad that it didn't come with all of that stuff of multiple tracks and multiple and effects per pad and track mutes and all of that stuff. If they would make a new MPC sample with that probably would be my favorite sampler. But my favorite sample would also have step sequencer, a step sequencer like the one on the analog rhythm. I really enjoy that machine, love working with it. Also the buttons in it. Like everything about that machine, I love. I love the connection between the Q links and the screen as well. Like that's one of the things about the MPCs that never really worked that well. Even though, of course, you can touch the screen and it's easy to navigate the screen. I always enjoy that workflow of the analog rhythm, of Elektron products in general. You easily jump between screens, and the Q links are always connected to whatever's on the screen. It's just a very fast, very beautiful workflow. 100% love the workflow on these Elektron products, more than I do on these MPCs. It's just fast. It's very intuitive. Some samplers from them are a bit too complex for me, but the dedicated buttons towards things, not having a lot of stuff inside of the machine, because that's what's happening to these new MPCs. Is just they're throwing in so much stuff that you just never have dedicated buttons for everything. So in any case, definitely love that sort of system of the analog rhythm. Love the tactile buttons, so easy to press. It would be a marriage between the two. It would be like the physicality of the analog rhythm with the OS from the MPC, but without all the plugins, without all the tracks. I would just need drum tracks. That's it, just for sampling. That would be my dream sampler. No plugins, no clip matrix, none of that stuff. I would just purely be on that MPC workflow of chopping samples and different sequences, track mutes, and all of that stuff. Love it. Would I want to go back to having the ability to change programs on the track? Absolutely. I would go back to that as well, and definitely have a beautiful song mode implemented in there where I could easily switch between sequences, have like an arrangement view, but from the song mode, not this new arrangement, which is nothing more than a sequence. It's just a sequence. I would have the song mode where you could switch between different sequences. Hopefully in the future we might get that. That's one of the things that I was always sad about Akai not really going ahead with these old MPCs, is like rebuilding that song mode and building it up to something more powerful. I was always very sad about that. They kind of left it behind. It's still there, still hanging, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And that was it, man. That is it. So it's very simple. My dream workflow, my dream machine would be a marriage between the 2000 XL, which I really love the layout of it, but maybe not that big, maybe not as big as the 2000 XL, but definitely a marriage between the 2000 XL and the analog rhythm, with a step sequencer, with a dedicated cue links for the screen, no touch screen, only drum tracks or programs. And from that, you have the MPC OS with pad mixer, track mixers, and then the outputs as well. No need for none of the analog filters or none of that. Just would be just a digital machine with some outputs on the back, which I feel it's always great. Extra inputs on as well, like at least 2 stereo inputs, which I always like to have more than one connection on the back. And apart from that, I don't know. That's it. Very simple. And it would be great if it was portable. Honestly, like the Live 3 is very close to being that, right? But again, that connection between cue links and screen just isn't there. But the MPC Live 3 is very close to being that sort of analog rhythm workflow, but not really. You know, the step sequencer needs a lot of work to become what the analog rhythm is. Like that, you know, pressing the step, going to the screen, adjusting whatever you want to that step, copying it around. I mean, I love the workflow on the analog rhythm. But again, only 8 voices. I love having a lot of voices, above 16. I always love to add details to my beats, and I just don't want to be thinking about how many voices have I used, things like that. You know, so that's one of the things about the analog rhythm. Honestly, just the voice count. Maybe if Elektron would come back with a new analog rhythm, 16 pads, you know, digital, a lot more voices in there for you to play with. You could actually load up kits into different tracks and have multiple tracks, not voices, because that's the thing with this. Like a track is a voice. I'm saying like a track could contain a lot of these voices as well, just like the MPC. So it'd be like that mixture, that fusion between analog rhythm workflow with the MPC OS as well. Whew. Let me know what your dream sampler would look like. I mean, I tried going to ChatGPT. I can't speak to that thing. I'm not an AI guy. And I tried coming up with an image. I can't do it. Maybe you can help me come up with that image for me, please, and put it down so I can see it. And other YouTubers, man, I would love to actually know your thoughts on this. Like, what would be your dream sampler? Would love to see it, man, really. I would love to see YouTubers do this sort of dream sampler video. And that was my take. Or maybe the next MPC would come fully loaded with tracks and all of that stuff. No plugins, nothing. This could potentially be it with a step sequencer and all that extended MPC workflow, but I don't think that's going to come out, to be honest. That was it. That was my dream sampler. Let me know what dream sampler you have in mind that you can live for the rest of your life and be happy with, and I would love to hear it. All right, you have a great day. See you tomorrow.